All right. Here we go, back again on the other side of the coin. All right, we are back again on the other side of the coin, and what a big victory. I've honestly not seen an absolutely demolition first half in a while. I know in the second half we sort of going to be easy, but that first half I have not seen a more dominant display the way we have produced in that first 45 minutes in a very long time. Obviously, a lot to talk about Kai Havertz, a lot to talk about Pulisic and Mason Mount as well, and the whole team as a unity. And obviously, you know very well that I will be talking about one Matt Law's article because it is my channel and I can do whatever I want. So we will talk about that as well. But before we get into all of that, guys, firstly, thank you to all the live chat people that have joined so far and that will join throughout the stream. We'll watch it down the track. Thank you heaps for coming along all the time and, you know, giving us the support. And as you can see, I've got a magnificent lineup. Once again, I've got Tyrone back. I've got, you know, Nishal back. And we've got a newbie, Carefree Tactics. He goes by the name Ryan, straight from the Caribbean. You're going to enjoy his accent a lot. First of all, Tyrone, my man, how you doing?
Yeah, buzzing off that win. It's a huge win. We needed a big scoreline, you know, a big, really rampant result to, you know, get Tuchel's attacking football underway. But yeah, in terms of the stream, really have to be on with Ryan, a new face. I followed your threads for a long time on Twitter, mate. And you're happy to be on with Nishal as usual, and obviously you, Miz. But yeah, I'm looking forward to getting into the review.
Brilliant. Ryan, my boy, has things. Obviously, everyone knows you from Twitter with your threads. You know, it's absolutely banging. But how's everything going?
Man, I feel like today has been a really good day. You know, I just finished my exams for uni, and what a beautiful game today. I mean, after such a hard run of games, you know, we got some results, we didn't get some, but I feel like today we got the result and we played the football we want to play. So yeah, I'm just happy to be here, and thank you for the opportunity to be here to talk to you all.
Brilliant. Thank you to Thompson Jones, who's logged in, Cameron. Then we've got Deep State, DJ Taco. So yeah, guys, thank you heaps for joining in. Nishal's just disappeared again. Guys, Nishal's having some technical issues with his Wi-Fi, so we'll just play it by the ear, see what's going on. He's back again. Nishal, my man, how's things?
Very well, apart from my Wi-Fi acting up. So apologies for any technical difficulties during the stream, but I'm very well, thanks. Good to be on and glad we are back off the back of another win because of course, last week, very awful defeat, you know, really bad result, but to be back on track, you know.
Oh no. Nishal's Wi-Fi is having a tough time. Yeah. Nishal, your Wi-Fi is having a tough time. Let's get into the game, man. Hopefully, Nishal gets that sorted out. First of all, massive shout out to almost 30 people joining. Joey has come in as well. Bobby has come in. CFC Stephen, Saeed, my man, thank you so much for joining. Guys, let's get straight into this conversation. I mean, I'll start things off. Initial thoughts about this particular game. For me, if anyone's watched our preview, Tyrone was there, I was there, Avin was there. We pretty much discussed this similar lineup for the preview. I think probably we gave Reece James an opportunity knowing that he's been playing well. But then we completely understood why Callum and Hudson-Odoi could probably get a shot in this particular match. So that was not a big surprise at all for us. You know, we expected Kai Havertz to start, we expected Pulisic to start, and we expected Mason Mount to start up front. And that front three, oh my God, that was so good. That first half, the link up, the way Callum on the first half was magnificent in the wing back position. The way he was linking up with Mason Mount, the way Mason Mount was then linking up with Kai Havertz, the way Kai Havertz was then linking up with Pulisic was phenomenal. And then in midfield, Kovacic and Jorginho just pulling the strings. For me, that was probably one of the best 45 minutes I've seen. I think there was only the one opportunity that Palace had in that first half, which we eventually defended well, where, you know, Rudiger just came off the line and then, you know, they found an opportunity through the center, but we still managed to get away with it. But yeah, overall, great match. Second half, obviously things calmed down a little bit. We ended up getting that, Palace got that goal. But I was never scared. And then we eventually got Pulisic's second goal. So fantastic victory. Well done to Thomas Tuchel. I feel like this man, we need to keep trusting him. We honestly need to keep trusting him. All these hoo-ha about Tammy needs to get minutes, this, that, we're not happy, we're not scoring goals. Watch this match and just stay patient with this manager. You are going to get results. Tyrone, my boy, what do you have to say about your initial thoughts?
Yeah, I'll start with talking about the first half, as I wish we could the whole review, but what a scintillating display in that first half. Attacking football was on point. The link up between Havertz, Mount, Pulisic, all we've been wanting for a long time from these players. Amazing. The one-touch passing was amazing. As soon as we lost possession, we'd win it back straight away and attack Palace. Palace had no answer. They tried to sit back and try and, stop the possession, stop us from attacking too much, and that really cost them in the end. The first half was amazing. In terms of the second half, I felt like Benteke goal was probably a bit of a unlikely thing to happen considering how dominant it would be. We had 16 attempts, and that was our first attempt in the whole game. But in terms of the end of the game, a great cross by Reece James to Pulisic, and we got N'Golo Kante some more minutes, Ziyech some more minutes. So in terms of the game, it was an amazing performance. I'm really, really happy. In terms of top four race, we're back in the top four now. Liverpool's late goal from Alexander-Arnold against Aston Villa took them above us. West Ham could go above us tomorrow, but I don't think they will tomorrow. I think Leicester will cause a bit of upset there. But yeah, an amazing win. Everything clicked. Tuchel's attacking football is underway, boys. Let's just stay tuned and let's get the popcorn out and watch attacking football in the next few games.
Let's absolutely get the popcorn now. Shout out to more people tuning in. Thank you, heaps. Tyrone's here. Let's talk ball with AWN. Is he? Surajit is here. Akash is here. Baggy TV, my man. Thank you so much for joining. Guys, I will give you guys the opportunity to join us today and give your reaction. So stay tuned for that. Get more fans involved as well if you know. And I will provide the link sometime during the middle of the stream to let you guys have your say for a couple of minutes about the game. So stay tuned for that. Carefree Tactics, Ryan, my man, what were your thoughts about the game? Your initial reactions?
Well, initially when I saw the lineups, I was kind of adamant because I knew that Kai is a false nine. He tends to roam to either wing and be at the like a tip of a peak or tip of a diamond, and he allows Mason Mount to drop a little deeper and Callum to stay wide on top. So I was wondering, without Alonso, who is going to head into the box when Kai isn't in the box? And I was pleased to see that last season we saw signs of Pulisic making those late runs at far post, and today he did that repeatedly, and he kind of covered that gap that was left when Alonso wasn't starting, because Chilwell tends to not be in the box as much. He tends to be right on the edge of the box. So I was happy to see that we had a game plan, we integrated it really well, and I was just so happy that we got really good entertainment today, and we could have scored a lot more goals, but at the end of the day, I'm happy.
Nah, absolutely right, Ryan, man. We probably should have scored a lot more goals. Kai Havertz probably should have scored a hat-trick. Ziyech right at the end deserved an assist there. But we're not going to be too critical about these sort of things. Obviously, we're going to talk about the player performances and match performance and whatnot. Nishal, my man, you are struggling big time with the Wi-Fi. But what are your initial thoughts about the game? Oh, no. Yeah, Nishal, we can't hear you, man. We can't hear you. We can't hear you at all. All right, we'll Nishal, get that sorted out, and then we'll see what we can do, man. Let's get back into it, guys. Sorry about that. Yeah, these sort of things happen. The whole Wi-Fi situation. I had the Wi-Fi situation all over the place a couple of days ago, so I do apologize for that. But let's get straight into the game. Tyrone, let's get talking about the lineup first up. Let me just bring this up, and then we'll get slowly into the whole match things of talking about the match details and whatnot. Tyrone, when you saw that lineup. Obviously, as I said, the preview, we pretty much had this lineup set out, except for maybe just Callum and Hudson-Odoi. Oh, and the whole Zouma situation. I didn't know Andres Christensen was injured. When did you find out about Christensen being injured, and what do you think about the lineup?
Ironically, it's from the Charles tweet on Twitter saying that Christensen picked up a hamstring injury. That's kind of how I found out about the injury. But in terms of the lineup, yeah, Zouma, I wasn't really worried about Zouma filling in there. We saw him come in against Atletico. How good was he against Suarez and Joao Felix? But in terms of the lineup, yeah, the front four I thought was really eye-catching. We have Hudson-Odoi's pace to drive at players, Havertz's movement, Pulisic's movement, Mount's ability on the half turn. It looks like a really attacking lineup, in my opinion. Chilwell is over as well. But yeah, this lineup I thought was a really interesting lineup from Tuchel. We're expecting Reece James, as we said in the preview, to kind of deal with Eze and Zaha. But, they didn't provide any issues in the end, them two, because we didn't let them have the ball. And yeah, the pivot were really good. Jorginho and Kova were instrumental as they were. Sometimes they do have a few blips, in the West Brom game is probably the biggest mishap of them two. But today they controlled the game amazingly from the middle of the park. We were discussing before the stream started that as soon as Jorginho came off, the control of the game kind of swayed the Palace's hands a little bit. But yeah, just a really good lineup. We have the captain there. Rudiger again. Come on, Rudiger was so good today again.
Again.
But yeah, Werner was dropped today, Miz. We predicted that correctly. And it's very sad to see that we played much better with that Timo Werner in that side. I have to say it. And yeah, that's kind of the lineup summed up.
No, 100%, man. Look, we've said it. I think Timo Werner's biggest threat is Pulisic, because they have similar stylistically, style in terms of the way they play football. Yeah. And I knew that Pulisic is the competition for Timo Werner. People keep thinking Tammy Abraham's Werner's competition is Tammy Abraham. No, it's not. Tammy's competing with Havertz. And Werner is competing with Pulisic and probably Callum Hudson-Odoi as well. But with Callum, he gets an opportunity in the right wing back as well. So he's got multiple roles to play with. But yeah, as we said in the preview, there was no surprise that Pulisic just come in. And Timo Werner probably deserves a little bit of break as well. I mean, look, I don't want to bash Timo Werner here, but he deserves a bit of break.
Tuchel mentioned in before the game that Timo Werner had a bit of an overload in terms of games. Thomas Tuchel has an analytical team behind him who kind of calculate the minutes of different players, and it was apparently his burnout time. So that's maybe a reason he was rested. But yeah, go on, Miss.
Yeah, 100%, man. They talk about players getting into the red zone. So, Timo Werner's been playing a lot, and he's been playing for the international team as well. But for me, that team was perfect. I had complete faith in that starting lineup, and I wasn't one bit, unhappy that, Tammy's not getting the minutes and whatnot. Complete trust on Thomas Tuchel, on the team that he's put up. So I was very, very happy. The only thing I could probably say, and this is probably me being a bit biased, guys, is because I love Hakim Ziyech a lot. I thought that Hakim Ziyech was on the upward trajectory. But how can you drop Mason Mount? You cannot drop Mason Mount. You cannot, deny Pulisic's chance as well on that left side, and have it up front makes sense, because that is what Thomas Tuchel is looking for. And I will share a particular clip down the track about what we talked about in the preview. But Ryan, my man, what do you think about that lineup?
Yeah, I mean, unlike you all, I don't think I ever guessed Tuchel lineup correctly before. I always have an idea what possible game plan we can go with. And then when I see the lineup, I'm like, what the hell are we going to do? And then it's always such a good feeling watching these games, because I always learn more about different strategies, different game plans, how he uses different players in different positions for different games. So yeah, I was adamant about the lineup for the reasons I stated earlier, but I was pleasantly surprised to see that everybody integrated well. I mean, my biggest fear was that we built play on the wing and we crossed it into nobody. And that was my biggest problem, because we saw that many times in the last several games, especially when Kai plays at a false nine. He tends to, a normal number 9 would roam, they would drop deep, but still stay central. I think Kai, he drops deep, but he joins either wing too. So I'm glad that I saw that I'm glad that I saw Pulisic compensated for those gaps that was left when Havertz dropped wide. So yeah, I was very happy.
Nah, brilliant, man. This is absolutely well said. Look, looks like most of us had not that much issues with the lineup. Let's get straight talking into the first half. I think that's where all the action was happening. Tyrone, from your perspective, have you ever seen a better first half from us for a very, very long time?
In my opinion, that's the best half we've seen in like 2 or 3 seasons. And any Chelsea, Maurizio Sarri, maybe the Southampton second half a few seasons ago, that's not relevant. Lampard, Tuchel, this isn't a scintillating first half. Straight out of the blocks, we meant business. We weren't letting them keep the ball. As soon as they got it, they would give it away, smash up to Zaha, who would lose. Jorginho was absolutely instrumental in that first half, recycling possession so well. Georgie and Kova, a great pivot. Kai Havertz, as soon as he stepped on that pitch, he knew this is the game where he turns up in the Premier League. The first half, he gets the ball, and he passes it. He wins the ball back high up the pitch. Hudson-Odoi finds him, curls the bottom corner. And from then onwards, he turned into a monster. The next 20 minutes, I say he kind of faded out for the rest of the half. But the first, I was a bit upset after the third goal that we kind of, took our foot off the pedal a little bit. We started to just slack, let them have the ball a bit, let them pass around. I didn't want to see that. When we're playing so well and they look so frightened of us, we have to just keep pushing, try and get as many goals as possible. Because we look solid. We look solid playing like that. But in terms of the first half, I thought we were absolutely scintillating. The one-touch pass between Cho, Mount, Havertz and Pulisic was absolutely amazing. They were just, passing around the corners, one-touch into spaces, interchanging so much. And the back three were really good as well. Rudiger was, not letting Benteke come into the game, stopping, obviously, the right back of Crystal Palace, trying to get down the inside. And Eze as well. I was actually a little bit worried about him, how good he could be. In the first half, he gave the ball away straight to Havertz, and he was absolutely out of the game. Azpilicueta didn't let him come into the game. Hudson-Odoi was so good defensively. But that first half was absolutely amazing. It's one of the best I've seen in a long time as a Chelsea fan. It's a shame we couldn't continue it into the second half, but this happens in games. You can't be, as good as you are in the first half. You tire out. You can't be as good passing, and that's what kind of happened. I wanted a 6 or 7. No, I'm a bit biased like that. But in the end, I was happy to end the half with a 3-0. It was good enough.
100%. We've got our first live chat ready to go. Tyrone, let's bring Tyrone in. Tyrone, thank you so much. I always see you in the live chat. What do you got to say? What are your initial reactions of that particular match?
The game was actually very soothing to watch. It was been one of the best first half. The unfortunate thing was that we couldn't bring it into the second half, and that's one of the negative things about the game. However, the thing is, though, against Porto, I'm pretty sure a lot of fans were complaining about Kovacic and Jorginho's passes not being good, and today the passes really improved. So I don't know. I guess they have to get insulted more in order for them to perform at the best and form that.
Insulted more. Yeah. They need to be insulted more to get the best out of them.
Yeah, but it's crazy. I really wanted to see us score more goals, but it is what it is. It's still a win. It's 3 points. It allows us to go back into top 4, possibly overnight. And it depends on what happens with West Ham. But that's my thoughts.
Nah, man, thank you so much, Tyrone, for your thoughts. Look, we should have scored more, but we did score 4, so we got to be happy with that. But I do completely understand, Tyrone, what you're saying, that we probably should have scored 6 or 7. But Tyrone, my man, thank you so much for your time. We'll let you go now, and hopefully you can stick around in the live chat. We'll now bring on Bobby. Bobby, my man, has things. What are your initial reactions?
Hey, hi, Alex. Hi, everyone. Thanks for letting me on your show. Boy, where do I start? The brilliant thing I'm really enjoying about Thomas Tuchel is that he has a very, very special side in this Chelsea side, and it's a work in progress. There's still a lot to be sorted out with this side. But what he has done is that he's come in as a top-class manager, and instead of allowing Premiership teams to work him out, he has worked them out. And he rotates his team. He puts on so many different permutations that they can't plan for him. And what he does is that you can't suss me out, so show me what you've got. And when they play it according to their ability, he rips them apart. This guy is going to produce a very, very, very special team. And we're watching it in the process. That's the beauty of it all. Forget about West Brom. That really, knocked us all. There was
one off. We forget West Brom. Never happened.
Who's West Brom?
Yeah. Done, dusted. Let's look forward to what this guy can do. I don't know. I don't like counting my chickens, Tuesday, well, we'll see what happens. We've got an excellent chance. But I just think this man's going to do something special at Chelsea, and we've got to get behind him. Stop worrying about, who's not playing. They're not playing today.
Love
They're
it,
leaving
love it,
tomorrow.
Bobby, love it.
So let's just watch this man and get behind him. He's doing something special for us. Really, he is.
Nah, this is so well said, Bobby. I could not have put it any better. Thank you so much for your reactions, my man. Honestly, it's a pleasure having you in the live chat all the time. So yeah, hopefully you can stick around. We will now progress ahead with the review. But yeah, to the rest of the live chat, if you do want to join in, you've got the pinned message. Have a look. You can join in today. Ryan, my man, what do you think about that first half? Probably one of the best first halves you've seen for a while.
Yeah, for sure. I just wanted to mention, like, I was listening to what Tyrone was saying about Havertz, and that first half, I find that he found the balance between when to drop deep, when to engage the two centre backs, when to run in behind, when to go wide. That was something I was really worried about. Not really worried, but I expected him to take a little more time to adapt to being a number 9. But he did so well getting in behind. And another shout out to Kovacic. Like, this season, his passing has improved a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, his decision making, his knowing when to slow down play, when to hit the diagonal, when to pass it in behind. He has been phenomenal for us. And it's just such a good feeling that these players can hit form at such a crucial time, especially players like Pulisic, Hudson-Odoi, Havertz. Jorginho did really well today. Even his defensive work today, like, people don't ever mention Jorginho when he does good defensively. Well, today, so many times he won back balls just by a little neat toe pokes and getting the ball away and putting us to the transition. It was so good, and I really enjoyed that first half. I mean, for such an intense first half, I don't think he could keep that intensity right all throughout. And Crystal Palace, they set up in a low block. So I could understand why we started going sideways and trying to bring them out a little bit so we can, get runners in behind, like when Havertz ran in behind and capped it over and nearly scored a beautiful goal. So yeah, I could understand why our intensity dropped, especially with one eye on Porto also. But such a great game. I'm proud of every one of them.
100% agreed, man. First of all, Bobby, thank you so much for the super chat. I really do appreciate that. Guys, all the super chats that you guys provide, honestly, I appreciate every single one of you guys. You guys really supporting this channel. Yeah, for me, that first half was scintillating. I think one thing we haven't mentioned is how good was our counter-pressing. Every time we lost the ball, we just ate them up. We were so hungry. It's like Thomas Tuchel said to the team, do not let them breathe. Get the ball back as soon as you lose it. And that was what was blowing my mind in that particular first half, was we were not only attacking from every direction, right side, left side, through the middle, just penetration after penetration, but it's the way we kept on winning the ball back is what just made me think, oh my days, how are they getting this much energy? So that was so good to see. And obviously Kai Havertz, we will talk about Matt Law very next, but that first half was scintillating, one of the best, and kudos to Thomas Tuchel. He deserves all the praise. Second half, look, it's very natural that the team having that style of a first half could probably lay back a bit, and maybe that's the challenge for us, how to make 90 minutes of that level of intensity from the first half to the second half. And maybe that's our next challenge. And who knows, maybe in the Champions League, we can do that. If we go past Porto, maybe in the semi-finals, if we play Real Madrid or Liverpool, maybe we do one of them like that for 90 minutes, just absolute hammering. But look, we will talk about, the goals and whatnot very, very soon. Let's bring in Baggy. Now, Baggy, my man, you're absolute, hero in YouTube community. What are your initial thoughts about this match?
Well, thanks for the introduction, mate. I really appreciate it. The match was amazing. To be honest, I wasn't expecting us to get off to a fly like we did. The Havertz goal, and then the Pulisic one straight after that. Really happy with the result. Really happy with the performance. And to be honest, I think a lot of the lads tried to calm down the fan base after the turbulent few days that we've had. with everything that's happening in the media and on the pitch, on and off the pitch, really. So it was a professional performance, and to be honest, we could have scored a lot more. I think Havertz wasted a couple of good chances. I mean, he did score the opener, but I think he could have had a hat trick today.
Yeah, easily.
Easily, yeah. I mean, in regards to the score, in regards to where we are in the Premier League and the whole situation, I think we can feel a little bit more comfortable right now. It's one of those results that we really needed to get under our belt, especially after the last time we were out in the Premier League. I'm not going to talk too much about that result, but it's good. It's good to be back on the winning track. Disappointed that we couldn't keep a clean sheet, but all in all, it was a good performance today.
100% agreed. Yeah, I think, look, to be honest, we deserved the clean sheet. I mean, I don't know where I can say we deserved it or not, because Crystal Palace didn't do that much. They had that one big chance in the second half and they took it. I would have loved a clean sheet, but it is what it is. We moved. Baggy, thank you so much for your reactions. We'll catch you soon. Hopefully you can stick around in the live chat for the rest of the review. Thank you heaps, my man.
Will do. Appreciate it. Thank you. Have a good one.
So guys, let's get onto it. I do want to talk about Matt Law now. I'll go to you, Tyrone, first up. Matt Law, off the back of off the back of the Porto game, commented that Kai Havertz now needs to be benched, and we've got Olivier Giroud, we've got Tammy Abraham. All of these sort of players deserve to start now as a striker. He doesn't believe in a false nine. He believes in a proper nine. Boy, oh boy, I feel like Kai Havertz read that article and he said, you know what? I've got a message just for you today. He came in and he chose violence. That first sort of 25 to 30 minutes, Kai Havertz was burning it up. Absolutely. I mean, what do you think about that article when you read that, my man? I mean, did you think it was very, very harsh, knowing that Thomas Tuchel, we've said it in our preview, that he's looking for a certain attribute, a certain style of striker, and Kai Havertz probably the one that comes closest to it. And he did everything that the fan base and the social media outlets need to understand. He did everything today that Thomas Tuchel wants from his striking position. Is that how you feel as well?
Well, firstly, I'll say it's almost like Havertz was like reading the article of Matt Law in his pre-match warm-up, and he kind of came out like, I'm going to do this for Matt Law, silence him. Big journalist, who even are you, mate? And he was the same guy who reported the Rudiger kind of bust-up as well. This guy always reports negative stuff about Chelsea. I know he's quite a prestigious guy in the Chelsea community, but he's always reporting bad stuff about Chelsea. If we go on a 14-game unbeaten run, he won't report anything. That's not going to get him enough clicks. If he reports something controversial, that's going to get him clicks. But enough on Matt Law. I'm not going to big him up too much. I don't really rate the guy that much. But in terms of Havertz's performance, absolutely amazing. He stepped onto the pitch, instantly up the pitch, won the ball back. He actually dropped deep for the ball, past Hudson-Odoi. Then he found the pass to him, scored the first goal. Straight, made the run behind it into Pulisic. I mean, I blinked and there was a second goal and I was like, what's going on? I still think he could have had like 3 or 4 goals, in my opinion, in that game. It was actually really frustrating. He missed 2 easier chances than the first one. But in terms of his movement in the game, this is the game where I saw Havertz. This guy is an absolute baller. His movement, getting him behind Cahill multiple times, getting him behind Chiarte, dropping deep, as Ryan said, his interchange of dropping deep as a false nine and making late runs into the box. That's the best we've seen of Havertz at Leverkusen, and that's how good he was in this game. What a performance by Havertz. Silenced all the critics that are watching him. And like I always say, I want to see consistency from Havertz. He played well against Everton. He played well against Atletico at home. Can he perform against Porto? Can he get another goal and keep his good form going? We don't want to see patchy performances, patchy form from Havertz. He's £75 million, a great talent, a generation talent before he came to Chelsea, and I still think he is now. We need to see more form. It's a shame Jonathan isn't here to talk about Havertz, because I'm sure he has a lot of good words to talk about this guy. But yeah, the main thing for me today was his movement, how he was rotational and making late runs into the box. So many chances he opened up for himself today. If he can finish them all, this guy is a striker we've been looking for a long time. And maybe we don't need to go and buy Erling Haaland with Havertz in this form. It's just amazing game.
No, absolutely. Look, it's an interesting conversation, in regards to striking position. If we can produce these sort of abilities from Kai Havertz, God knows what's going to happen. I mean, at the end of the day, I feel like we still need a striker if Tammy goes, but that's for another day's conversation. Ryan, my man, Do you feel the same as well, that when you saw that article from Matt Law, that it was a bit harsh, the way he spoke about Kai Havertz? And you're a very tactical guy. Do you understand why Kai Havertz is being selected by Thomas Tuchel and why he's probably preferred ahead of Tammy Abraham and Olivier Giroud?
Well, I didn't even read the article because it's just such a crazy week, to be honest, with work. But on to your second question, which is a really interesting question tactically, if I can see a difference between Havertz and Tammy. It's really difficult because, if you watch like technically or technicality wise, obviously Havertz is more skillful. He has, more better touches, this and that. But positionally, I think that Tammy could do the same things that Havertz does. I mean, Havertz is faster than Tammy, obviously. But tactically, I find it really difficult. That's a good question. I haven't actually thought about that because the way I think about it is that Tuchel doesn't have a set role for somebody. The way he does it is that, okay, you will perform the best in this space. So what does everybody else around you need to do to allow you to be in that space during the game? And that's what he does. So I think if he uses Tammy, I don't necessarily think Tammy will play and go the exact same role as Havertz. He would think about, okay, what positions do I want Tammy to be in, and how can we use our wingers and wing backs to allow Tammy to be in that position more? And that's the same thing he's done with Ziyech or Ziyech. I made a Frank Lampard Ziyech pronunciation there. That's the same thing he did with Ziyech, that he allowed him to be a right winger in deeper positions by compensating and having the wing back push up more forward and having he compensated around that. And same thing with Alonso. He allowed him to get into the box. Same thing with Chilwell. He allows Chilwell to be at the edge of the box more. He allows Jorginho to sit in front of the three centre backs. He allows Azpi to take up right back positions, even though he's a right centre back. Rudiger would take up left back positions less than Azpi would take up right back positions because Rudiger is not a left back. And I find it's really interesting that no role is set in stone in this. It's more about, you want to be in this position, what does other players need to do to get you in that position? And the smart thing is it doesn't revolve around one player, because somehow Tuchel has found a way to get Ziyech in a deep role, then Jorginho from the three centre backs, then Azpi as right back, still Alonso in the box, Havertz where he needs to be. He does it with all the players, and it sets up to like one really holistic, coherent team. And I'm just interested to see.
So true, my man. So true.
Yeah.
I'm loving what you're saying. Continue.
Yeah, I'm just interested to see. We take it game by game, and one thing I've been really impressed with Tuchel is how his staff does homework for other teams, because he prepares for other teams' weaknesses and strengths, and he, I think that every player knows what they're supposed to do. I think with Frank, I love Frank. I actually, that's a whole different topic for a different day. But with Frank, I feel like, players didn't know where they're supposed to be at some points, and they were just, going off the top of the head. But it's so difficult to go off the top of their head when they haven't built chemistry with 6 new players yet. So I feel like now there's a game plan. Every player knows what area they have, they can take charge over. And that's a huge difference. And we take it game by game.
So well said, Ryan. Honestly, you've blown my mind away with that commentary. Tyrone, I'm going to go to you now right away. Obviously, you've got something to say, but I also want to ask you that question. The stuff that Ryan just said about how Thomas Tuchel is looking for a holistic style of football, and that's probably why Kai Havertz fits that role a lot better than any other strikers that we have. Do you agree with that as well? And plus, obviously, you had something to say.
Yeah, I'll start with the thing I had to say. I agree with everything you said, Ryan. Obviously, really well said. The holistic comment I felt really crucial, and it really says a lot about the way you play under Tuchel. But I feel the difference between Abraham and Havertz is that Havertz tends to drop deep and open up spaces, drag the centre back out, then make late runs into the box with his pace. That's the difference with Abraham that we haven't really seen. He tried to do it earlier in the season, but he doesn't have the pace kind of to make runs into the box. When Tuchel came in, I believe he did an interview with the Chelsea Fifth Stand app, and he said that these are players that have a lot of individual talent. I won't tell them what they have to do in certain positions. Like if they're in a tight space, they know what to do in their heads. But in terms of their positioning on the pitch, I'm going to try and direct them, try and make them a good unit of what to do, try and help them in their chemistry. Because these players, even though they are great individuals, they can't do everything off the top of their head, as Ryan said. Lampard, I felt like with his front three at times, he just kind of said, you get in the box, you kind of do what you have to do with your individual talent. Tuchel's kind of got them set up in a way that is a system that works really well. When the CDM drops, Azpi can bomb forward and Alonso can get into the box. When Havertz drops deep, that opens up the space for the wingers to tuck in. So in terms of the unit, the whole squad works really, really well. And amazingly well said, Ryan, about the holistic combinations in the team. I think it works amazingly well at the minute, and we're just waiting for their attacking consistency at the minute. It's one game really good so far. But yeah, the defensive midfield and the attack really complement each other at the minute, and the balance is finally starting to strike.
100%, man. I'm going to take that clip, that couple of minutes clip of Ryan, and really post it in Twitter and blow it up, because honestly, that is exactly a lot of the fan base are not understanding why Thomas Tuchel does what he does. It isn't about Tammy Abraham is, the top goal scorer for our team. It's not about that. It's about having that holistic game. What Ryan was saying, it's about bringing all these other players in together. It's not about the one player. It's about the team gelling together. And I think we saw that in today's performance. And hopefully we continue to do that. Shout out to Gabriel, my man. Thank you so much for your super chat. You continuously help this channel out a lot. Do appreciate heaps. Have the gears finally clicked into gear? Have the gears finally clicked into gear? I like that. Generally solid, but no confidence in scoring until today. I thought it would be 1-0. Now, happily pleased. Tuchel tactical. Let's see next game. Team selection. 100% agreed, man. Today we finally saw, and I'm pretty sure Thomas Tuchel, Gabriel, he's been working on this. I think he's upset himself that we're not creating enough chances. And today we are starting to see the fruits of all the training, all the hard work that is getting put in the training ground coming into fruition today. And hopefully from here on in, we can use this as a reference and move forward in the future games. So do appreciate that, Gabriel. Boys, let's now talk about the goal. Enough about Matt Law and Tammy Abraham and whatnot. Let's now really focus on some of these goal situations. Let me just bring this up. All right, Tyrone, I'm going to talk to you about the first goal. Obviously, it was a very good situation created, something like this. It was getting pinball around the box. I think Pulisic initially had an opportunity here. Then somehow the ball ended up going towards Callum Hudson-Odoi's, and Havertz was more in this sort of situation. We were trying to overload the right side, obviously, with Callum playing in that area, we are heavily trying to overload that right side. And the situation was something like this. And then Cho ends up finding a ball to Havertz, and then Havertz takes it with his left and just nicely curls it into the goal. What do you think about that whole movement for that first goal? And what about that finish from Kai Havertz, Darren?
Well, the whole move started off with Jorginho cover breaking from a change of possession and from Zaha Benteke. Havertz dropped deep into a false nine position, which is a really smart move. Dragged Gary Cahill out to open the space for Hudson-Odoi. He drove down the right and got tackled by Van Aanholt. And Havertz won the ball back straight away. Mason Mount style intercepted the ball and played it back to Hudson-Odoi. Hudson-Odoi played a perfect ball between the lines. It was similar to the ball, Tim, from Alonso in the Everton game, if you remember that, Miz, where he kind of just played it, broke the lines. Played it to Havertz, and he used Cahill as a decoy, curved it around him into the bottom corner. And the fact that Graham Souness was saying on the Sky Sports broadcast in the UK that Guaita could have saved that, no chance. It was a great finish at the bottom corner. Cahill should have come out some quicker.
Did he actually say that, Taryn?
I genuinely am not lying to you. Graham Souness is the most biased fan. He hates Chelsea so much. And he said that all the goals. He said that the Zouma header should have been saved. He said the Pulisic one should have been saved. And the Havertz. I'll send you the clips later. I'll put it on here if you want in a second. But it's a joke. And it was such a great finish. Cahill definitely gave Havertz too much respect there, too much time. But straight in the bottom corner, wonderful finish. And I don't know if we're going to get onto the second goal, but Havertz straight after that, he didn't let his head drop. He didn't say, I've got a goal. I'm going to come. This is what I needed. My first goal since Southampton. I'm not going to come down. He went straight back at it. Went in behind, played it to Pulisic, another goal. But in terms of that goal, what a goal it was. Seriously, a great goal. I was jumping out of my seat. First Havertz goal since Southampton. Great tactical move. Great dropping in as a false nine. Great play by Hudson-Odoi. And Mount obviously was the creator, the driving force and the stamina and the move.
100%. So well said, Tyrone, once again. We will talk about the second goal. I'll talk to Ryan about this. Ryan, the second goal was something like this, where Kai Havertz, this is the beauty about Kai Havertz, Ryan, and as you said, the whole thing about that holistic attitude, having someone like Havertz who's so flexible around the whole forward area, and he drifts around in the midfield area as well. But he found himself around the left side this time, and he tucks in a ball nicely for Pulisic around this area, very close to the 6-yard box. And Pulisic absolutely rammed it in. And there was, I don't know what Graham Souness is talking about. There was absolutely no chance for the keeper to save Pulisic a shot. And that was the second goal. Once again, Havertz assist this time, Pulisic goal. Two boys that are in the upward trajectory. I mean, what do you think about that goal, Ryan, and the whole combination play in that situation?
Well, this is a great segue into what I wanted to say while Tyrone was talking. We can't expect, how dominant we've been on the right to happen every single time, because this is why. You see, where on the picture here we're watching, where Callum is, well, his starting position is actually, just bring it a little lower for me. Right, yep. Stop there, yeah. His starting position is actually there, right? So when his starting position is there, it allows Havertz to come into a more right striker position. So Havertz has easier access to roam into the box and shoot. Yeah. And however, if Reece James starting position would be deeper and more deeper.
Be right here.
So what would happen is Havertz would have to get into a more right winger position when he roams, which is exactly what he did on the left, because Chilwell starts deeper. So we see here, instead of Havertz going as a left striker, he went to left wing to hit it in. So that's the difference. I feel like when Reece James starts, Havertz will be pushed more to a right wing position instead of a right striker position. And that can make problems when we have nobody to cross into the box, because Havertz, he's not flashy. He can't get back into the box header when he's at right wing. He could if he's right strike at the edge of the box. I think that's one thing to take into deep consideration. Obviously, it's really helpful to have a player like Havertz where he can cover so much ground. He works so hard to get to the left, to the center, to the right, in the box. He does everything in that final third. But it's something to keep in mind. Like, I don't want to stray away from the question about the goal, because it's a beautiful smashing finish from Pulisic. But I just want to think about if Reece James is starting and his starting position is deeper and Havertz is pushed out wide, or we might see Mount being pushed out really wide to the flank, where Mount could do a job there. He has decent pace, decent dribbling. He could do a job there, but you want Mount more where he is right now. He has the option to go next to Georgie, to get into the box, to even go wide. But you don't want to, resort Mount to being a natural right winger. You want him to have that option, just like Ziyech, to be a right, basically attacking mid, or even an RCM at times, because that's what Tuchel does. He allows players to play where they want to play, even though on paper it mightn't look like that. So it's really interesting, because I felt like with versus Everton, who started under? Y'all remember who started as right wing back?
I think. Let me have a quick look. That's a very good question.
That was Callum Hudson-Odoi.
Yeah, it was. It was Callum Hudson-Odoi. Yeah,
because that's why Havertz did really well again versus Everton. But then versus Leeds, who played as right back? Was that Azpi? Because I know
that was Pulisic, wasn't it? Playing there.
Yeah, I think it was Pulisic. I think it was Pulisic as right wing back.
Yeah, but we kind of transitioned to a 4-2-3-1 at times, and so that's why I'm thinking, like, Havertz compensates for the spaces that's left, and he roams into that area that is left. But if you leave too much space to the flank left, he will inevitably roam there. My problem is, who is going to take up the spaces in the box that's left, other than Alonso, who can be there, or Pulisic, who can make late runs. And I think that's something we should think about, or we should think about it more and try to do lower crosses. That's what we did today. We didn't do much. We didn't sky up as much crosses. I hate to see when we sky crosses into no man's land with no plan. I think today we did everything very smart. Everybody thought before they did something. They didn't just play wild. So yeah, I was very happy, and I think 2 goals did really well, and it showed the dynamic nature of Havertz and how everybody integrates.
Yeah, man, 100%. It's so good what you said in regards to, and here's the question from Tyrone. Do you think Kai plays better with Cho and Mount around him? I think this is a thing we need to probably keep a good eye out, because it seems like what Ryan just said, allowing Callum to be that right winger, it allows players like Mount to be more in and around the goal, Pulisic to be more attacking in the box, and allows Havertz to sort of zip around the whole, left to right and just be that free man. So it's very interesting. And it's something maybe Reece James could probably pick it up as well. I think, I don't want to underestimate Reece's qualities, because his defensive qualities has been amazing, what he has done so far this season. Also, just recently against Porto as well was amazing. Maybe this is something that maybe Reece can sort of pick up from the right side, that it's very, very important for him to emulate what Callum is doing. Maybe it's not that possible because they're 2 different players, but something to think about. Yeah.
May I add
Ryan,
one more thing?
Sure.
We can, just because we're really attacking today, we're going to praise Hudson-Odoi, but we're not going to put Reece James under the rug, because when Reece James starts in that deeper position, he's basically alongside Jorginho, right? And Mount drifts to the more wide position to be the top of a diamond. That allows our build-up play to be supreme when we are pressed. And when Callum starts as a right winger and doesn't drop alongside Jorginho, our build-up play, if pressed aggressively, will suffer, because we don't have those triangles, and it wouldn't be as fluid. So Reece James does really well there. And another thing Reece James does really well, if you notice today, Callum did really good at the defensive bits where he just won back tackles. He does that. Even as a winger, he does that. But a lot of the chances came from crosses that we allowed from the right side. And that's how Benteke scored over Chilwell. It was a cross from the right side. And if Reece James was there, we would maybe think maybe that cross would not have come in, because whether you like it or not, Azpi would have to cover right centre-back and right back and right wing-back when Callum plays, because Callum is a wide right winger. And he does not just stay and cross from deep areas. He goes straight to goal, basically. He goes straight up top. So it's something to think about, how we can find a balance, or not that, but how can each player use their strengths and kind of improve where they are weak on, to find a balanced player. We don't want to keep changing every time, and have one player play against low blocks and next one player against counterattacks. We want these players to learn their position for any game. And that's what I want to see next season. For now, we just need to win. So
100% agreed, Ryan. Man, eventually we want to have players that understand the roles as opposed to what their abilities are. So now, well said, Tyrone. Let's talk about the third goal. Mason Mount. He's in with goals. He's in with the assist this time. This guy for me is taking himself to a different level every game, and he's becoming more important game by game. Zouma comes in, gets himself a header. Absolutely no surprise that Zouma is the only defender that seems to be capable of getting header goals for us. And he was very, very happy as well. And once again, Zouma comes into the middle of the 3, and he has a very good game. What do you think about that third goal?
Yeah, the free kick was won by Chilwell, I believe. It was a great break by Chilwell, trying to, use his pace that we have talked about a lot on this particular channel. Driving down the left, won the free kick. It was taken down by, who was it again? I think it was Milivojevic, if I'm not sure. He got a yellow card for it.
Yeah,
it was
I
a
think
really
you're right.
simple challenge.
Yeah.
And from there, Chilwell seemed to have a little bit of an injury. Mason Mount stepped up, took that ball. And you know how much confidence he's in at the minute. That chance he took away at the Sevilla Stadium, what a finish that was. He took the ball with a lot of confidence. Amazing free kick. Again, Graham Souness was talking about how the goalkeeper could have come out. I think that it was just a really good ball into the box on the money. Zouma rose above Gary Cahill, and on target. That's all you need to do with these headers. Just the power's already on the ball. You just need to kind of direct it into the goal. Zouma, great header, great performance by him in the centre-back role. I do prefer him. I don't know about you guys. I prefer him in the middle of the role. I think he was quite a good sweeper today. He was quite composed on the ball.
I tend to agree now.
Yeah.
I was a bit suspicious about this whole thing, but I tend to agree that maybe in the middle he's probably most suited.
Yeah, definitely. I think Rudiger's built that left. That's his role. That's Rudiger's best position on the left. Yeah. Zouma is quite good. I saw some good long passing by Zouma today. He was quite composed on the ball, but that header was amazing. It was really crucial in the context of the game. It was 2-0, 3-0 kind of, calmed everyone down a bit. I know I said I wanted more, but it kind of, stapled the win for us in the end and just went on to the rest of the game with dominance. But in terms of the goal, it was a great header by Zouma, a great ball by Mason Mount. And I hope Zouma can continue to keep playing well because he has Christensen ahead of him, who's obviously has a hamstring injury at the minute. So hopefully Zouma can continue to play well. Silva's coming back in as well. But yeah, in terms of keeping his place in the team, Zuma's done a very good job today.
Yeah, man, and I hope Zouma continues with his consistency because that seems to be his issue. We've got Grant here. We're going to bring Grant in now for his reactions. My man Grant, what do you think about that particular performance from us?
We did good today. We got an easy team to play today, so we did good today. Just make up back from last week. And that last what we get last week, we just make up back today, and just let the fans them just feel much more better and comfortable now. I have more belief in our team now, because Tuesday night we need this win. Tuesday night. So we just have wipe of confidence right now. We win for this win, so we can be much more critical right now for Tuesday. I'm looking at Tuesday game because I'm from the 2-goal score. I'm actually looking on Tuesday game. Just focus on Tuesday because we need the Champions League. Today game is just an easy game. We can test out a lot of different individuals in different positions. Just like when we take off Kante, we put when Kante come on, we start playing different. So Tuesday game we can start look out for playing like that. Take off Kovacic, put on Ziyech. It's just a difference. We just maybe testing out in the last final, so we can see what we had the Tuesday. But we have a good game.
Man. 100%. We had a good game. We had a good game today, and we do look forward to the Tuesday game. Obviously, we're now heading into that with very, very good confidence. Grant, thank you so much for your time, for the reaction. We'll see you very, very soon. Thank you, my man. Boys, let's continue on with the fourth and final goal before we start talking about the player performances. Let's bring this up. I'm having some internet issues as well today, guys. I'm not sure about you guys. I'm lagging too. I think Nishal has given me the bug. But yeah, hopefully we continue on. So now I'll talk about the fourth goal, and we'll move on to the player performances after this. The fourth goal was something like this, where Pulisic, was lurking around in the sort of far post corner. Reece James and Mason Mount linked up very well. Mason Mount passed it to Reece James. Reece James with an early ball, whipping ball just across the face of the defense, just in front of the keeper. And Pulisic, as Ryan has been saying in this stream, he's been making those runs, ensuring that if there is a low cross that gets zipped across the box, that he's there, and he was there, and he absolutely finished it emphatically. And that was the fourth goal. And Pulisic's second, which capped off a fantastic display from Pulisic. We will talk about the man of the match and whatnot. Live chat, let us know who your man of the match was. I still think, look, it's probably a dual man of the match between Havertz and Pulisic because both of them played extremely well. But do let us know what your thoughts are. And that pretty much wraps us up with the goal situation. Let's talk about the player performances, guys. Let's go to you, Ryan, first up. We've talked a lot about Havertz. Obviously, he had a fantastic game. So, guys, look into the stream previously and get all of our Havertz sort of propaganda. Callum Hudson-Odoi, we've talked about him as well. Pulisic, let's talk about Pulisic, Ryan. For me, Pulisic, once again, we've said it many times. It's his injuries that seems to be a bit of an issue. If this particular player is fit, then Pulisic is going to get more minutes, and he's probably Timo Werner's biggest threat. The thing about Pulisic is he bangs in goals, whereas Timo Werner is finding it a bit difficult to bang in the goals. He's still, good in terms of the work rate and whatnot, but Pulisic gives us that lethal ability to score goals. Ryan, do you see Pulisic featuring a lot more, hoping that he stays fit?
I think that, like, when I think about Werner versus Pulisic and their positioning, I would say that Werner is a left striker who makes off-the-ball runs. That's his specialty, off-the-ball runs. But it doesn't necessarily need to be against a low defensive line. I think his off-the-ball runs against a low block is really good. So and that's underrated, but that's a different topic. With Pulisic now, I would see him as more of a left LAM. Instead, he likes to have the ball to feet, and he likes to run at players and create chances from there. That's a major difference. And the thing is, a next major difference is when Werner is called to play with ball on feet. Yes, he gets some assists, but when he is called up on to beat players, he really lacks in that department. However, if you switch it to the other side of the coin, that you would see that if you want Pulisic to make those runs off the ball, he can do it. So I think he has a more balanced way. I think Pulisic has all the technical ability. We see that he could take in information and really adapt positionally too. Once he learns what Tuchel wants from him, I think he can make that position his own. But same goes for Werner. Once he knows what Tuchel wants from him, he can make that position his own. But ability-wise, on and off the ball, I would say that Pulisic has a more balance. He could play for any game, a counter-attacking game, a low-block game. He could do it all.
Yeah, I have to agree. He's got that whole balance, and the whole theme about having that holistic point of view is very important. Pulisic allows for that. Tyrone, I want to get your thoughts as well. What do you think about Pulisic's performance?
Yeah, he was pivotal in transitioning from defense to attack, playing as that late run player, as you mentioned, Ryan. But yeah, he had a really good performance, 2 crucial goals. That finish was absolutely superb. I don't think Werner would have finished that chance. It was an amazing finish, caught quite off guard, amazing goal. In terms of his second goal, yeah, he got the run on Joel Ward, a great off-the-ball run. Reece James picked it out, and a great composed finish as well. Another goal by Pulisic. But yeah, a great performance by Pulisic today. In terms of the fitness side of things, I think that's the most important thing about Pulisic, because we know what he can do. If he's fully fit, he starts every single game in this team without a shadow of a doubt. He provides so much in the build-up, finishing, assists, everything like that. But if you play him too much, he's going to pick up these little injuries, which is we haven't liked to see. But, he does tend to pick these injuries up. There was a scare against West Brom, I feel like, when he came for half-time, when apparently he had a hamstring injury. That could have been a big doubt. But I just feel like it's about managing his workload, playing him, taking him off sometimes at 60 minutes, bringing on Werner for a bit of rotation, Hudson-Odoi left wing role. But in terms of his ability, yeah, amazing. He was crucial to this win. 2 goals, capped off a win. We needed that goal in the first half to kind of skyrocket us to the victory in the end. But yeah, what performance by Pulisic today. One of my favourite players that Chelsea have, 100%. An amazing show from Captain America.
No, 100%, man. I mean, Pulisic's performance was brilliant, and I'm sure we're going to see him against Porto. Hopefully he gets rewarded with that opportunity against Porto. Let's talk about Ben Chilwell. I feel like Ben Chilwell just keeps on going better and better. He's getting so prolific in that left wing back position now, and I feel like slowly we're going to start seeing Alonso's name disappearing. I'm pretty sure he might come in as a rotational factor here and there, but Pulisic is really now taken over that left wing back position massively. From your perspective, Ryan, what do you think about Chilwell's performance in that left wing back position?
I think he's done really well. I made a whole thread on how important Alonso is, but because to Werner, because Alonso's starting position is similar to Callum's, so it allows Werner to tuck in as a winger. I think that this combination with Chilwell and Pulisic, it works so well because Chilwell's starting position is so deep that Pulisic can come deeper and have ball to feet. Then Chilwell can overlap this and that. However, if we're going to play a left striker instead of a left winger, I'm kind of still adamant on Chilwell because he has a reluctancy to make those inverted runs. Off the ball, that is. I know he made an inverted run and scored Champions League, but like those off the ball inverted runs, and not just one out of the blue inverted run. I mean, Alonso and Werner integrate the whole 90 minutes. They integrate between dropping deep, going wide, going into left striker positions. And I think that Chilwell has the ability to learn that position. As I said, similar to Pulisic, he has all the qualities on the ball to do it. It's just a matter of fact of learning what Tuchel actually wants from him. And but as we said, today suited him playing with a striker like playing with a left forward like Pulisic, because he basically plays as a left winger. He starts from deeper position, so it allows Chilwell to play to his strengths, which is start from deep positions and overlap.
No, 100% agreed. 100% agreed. Chilwell, hopefully he continues like this because, the growth, I can see it. And Tyrone is one who will advocate as well. He can see that growth for a very long time. Tyrone, let's talk a little bit about Callum Hudson-Odoi. Obviously, we said that Callum provides that width on the right side, allows for everything to sort of gel together as a team, allows for, Havertz to be free, Mason Mount to be more inside the box. What do you think about Callum's performance? I felt like it was a very good performance, but in the second half, I felt like I did want to see Reece James come back in because defensively, I thought that Callum was starting to struggle a little bit. Do you feel this is where we want to see Callum play more? Do you want to see him play where Pulisic or Mason Mount sort of plays more of an inside forward?
I think it's really hard to say that, depending on the game as well. When we play Hudson-Odoi or Reece James, when the team's going to sit back like Crystal Palace, that's the game for Hudson-Odoi to open up the spaces for Havertz to drop deep to make them inverted runs in behind the defence. That's the best Hudson-Odoi. There's so much room on so many occasions on the right-hand side. With Eze, that was the main issue with Crystal Palace today. I felt like Eze was not tracking the runs of Hudson-Odoi. It left so much room. Havertz was drawing Van Aanholt out at times and left Hudson-Odoi. And I think it's just a product of Hudson-Odoi. He has the ability, we've seen at multiple occasions, whether it's academy, proper, men's football, we've seen many times he has the switch of the play, he has the crossing ability, he has the finishing ability. It's just the fact that sometimes there's so many attacking talent on the pitch that he's a bit confused on what to do. I feel like it's like that. The first thing that Tuchel kind of said to him at halftime, I was watching on the stream, he went up to him straight away and was just kind of, I think, saying something, was caught the micro, something about, he was wasting some huge chances, but they were just laughing about it. So that's really important. I feel like Tuchel was kind of straight away into Hudson, he feels like he can do more. Luckily, he didn't take him off this time, but yeah, I think that Reece James was needed later on in the first half and the second half. Zaha and Eze were starting to cause a bit of issues later on in the game. And obviously, Hudson-Odoi is not a natural right back. He's not known for his defending ability. He's known for his pace, his directness, his crossing ability, his finishing. But yeah, this game was perfect for Hudson-Odoi. I was a bit worried before the game, man. In the preview, I predicted Reece James. But yeah, we stopped Crystal Palace from coming at us in the game. Hudson-Odoi opened a lot of space for Havertz in the middle. He opened a lot of space for Pulisic to convert as well. A decent performance for Hudson-Odoi, definitely not as best under Tuchel. The best was probably, I'd say, Wolves or Newcastle. He probably played the best. But in this game, he wasn't amazing. I'd say against Porto, we play Reece James for defensive stability against Tyrone, whoever's playing there. But yeah, another great performance for Hudson-Odoi. Not his best, but he didn't make any crucial errors. And I feel like we could have got more goals if he had a bit more, a bit more drive, a bit more daring ability in the final third. But apart from that, he was quite good.
Yeah, look, he ended up getting himself an assist. Wasn't the most polished performance, but then again, he hasn't played for a little while. So, for me, that wasn't that bad. But I do completely understand what you're saying in terms of playing against Porto. I do want to see Reece James back. For me, I'll take the double pivot. Jorginho and Kovacic, they were pulling the strings in the middle, man. They were so fantastic. They were back to their best again. Kovacic, at times, as Ryan said earlier in the stream, and as you said as well, Tyrone, the way he was pinging the balls from diagonally from this side to that side, and Jorginho as well, his passing range was back into it. Both of them control the match. But the other thing that I really enjoyed from both of them, they are the instigator along with Mason Mount in terms of counter-pressing. The way they counter-press and ensure we win the ball back is something is very, very underrated. We don't talk about that too much. Defensively, they were good as well. We pretty much boxed Palace in their half with that double pivot. So fantastic performance from both Kovacic and Jorginho. Massively, massively fantastic performance. Mason Mount is one we haven't really talked about that much yet. We did touch a little bit. Just Ryan, from yourself, Mason just keeps on taking himself to the new level, finds himself with another assist again. And he found himself in some good little pockets of space today as well. So this guy, for me, is undroppable at the moment, Ryan. Would you say? Like, there's no way you can drop him.
Well, there's a reason why I haven't done a tactical thread on Mason Mount, because it's impossible to see any patterns, because he does everything. He has a different.
By the way,
role
Ryan, just
game.
quickly, sorry to just butt in, just quickly. He also today played in the double pivot. So talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, he does every single thing. I can't put my finger on what his role is, because his role is whatever Chelsea needs him to be. But one thing is for sure, Chelsea needs him. That's the thing. We need Mason. I think that's why he's so pivotal to this team, because his ability to be a right winger, a left winger, a right attacking midfielder, a left attacking midfielder, even today LDM or RDM.
Only goalkeeper position left.
Yeah, that allows other players to play in their favorable position. We talked about how Tuchel gets other players to play where they want to play. Well, it doesn't have a place that Mason wants to play. He can play anywhere. And that's why he is a must start for every game. I liked how today we saw him to the right, because it allowed him to link with Callum. And not to venture off too much.
By the way, his link up with Callum was very nice, wasn't it? Like,
really
he was
good.
linking up so beautifully.
And you can see that Tuchel trusts him a lot, because, like, for games, Tuchel would put him to the left because he also links up very well with Chilwell too. Then for other games, he'd put him to the right because he would link up better with Callum. He knows how to read Callum better. But one interesting thing, I don't want to go back but I just want to ask you all an interesting question, right? You all asked, could Callum, make this position his own? Where do you see him better as a right wing back or not?
Yeah.
If Callum's starting position as a right wing back is basically flat-footed as a right mid or a right wing, a wide right winger, you know what I mean? His starting position is up top, not deep where Reece James is. We need Azpi to cover in a right back position, right? So what kind of RDM do we need? It could go both ways. So one person might argue that we need Kante there because Kante can get back faster and help defensively, but Kante tends to roam up top, which could leave us more vulnerable. Even though Kante has the legs to get back, you want your defender to be prepared instead of running back. But next thing, Jorginho, he will sit right next to Azpilicueta, and that could help. That could help prevent a transition. But if you don't prevent that transition and they get past, having Azpi and Jorginho tracking back could allow so much crosses to come in. I was wondering, which right DM would you all rather, if Callum is playing, to compensate for Callum being so high up top as a wide right winger? Would you all rather Jorginho or Kante?
Look, you know what, and I'll let Tyrone speak about it as well. I feel like this team, and this is no disrespect to Jorginho, Kovacic, or Kante, fantastic players and they can play in rotation, but it's lacking that DM. It's lacking that DM that can just go lateral. That's it. Kante can do that. Kante can do lateral tracking, but he has that tendency of going forward as well. As you said, Ryan, we've seen it, which then isolates the people at the back. So the only way we can have Callum be so high up is if we have players that can be more lateral. The reason why it's working against it's worked today is because both Jorginho and Kovacic are very well aware of their positions around the back three. So what they do is they move together as a pack. So that's why, whenever there is a counter and if Callum is caught out of position, it's very easily covered because they shift as a team. So you'll see Azpilicueta shifting, you'll see Jorginho shifting, you'll see Zouma shift. They shift as a team. what happens sometimes when Kante plays, and once again, guys, this is no disrespect to Kante. I want him in the team, 100% do. What happens is Kante sometimes goes forward, and then Callum will be forward, and it breaks down in the middle. It just breaks down. So what you need in that sense is you need a partner for Kante that has the ability to go lateral and cover all of that ground. So I think someone like Declan Rice, Marquinhos, as Tyrone said previously in some of my streams, Zakaria, then you've got the player from AC Milan, Kessié. So yeah, Tyrone, what's your thoughts about this particular question? Very good question from Ryan.
To be honest, Miz, you touched on everything perfectly there. If we are going to stick with a different formation, with a different system, we definitely need a new DM to cover all that space. But yeah, in a three at the back system, the way Kova and Georgie counter press is so on point. They know their position exactly. When we lose a ball, they're like hunting like wolves straight away onto the ball, recycling possession straight away and passing it straight back onto. That was similar to the first goal where, Hudson-Odoi lost the ball, I believe, and Georgie and Kova won it back. Played it to Callum, he played it to Havertz, and that's how he scored the goal. But them two just know their position so well; they can cover the space. My only critique would be if Georgie was on the right with Kante maybe roaming. Georgie's been burned a few times down the wing, and that kind of opens space for Azpi to lose the positions. Saw at Liverpool last season at Anfield, but that's not important. This system, Tuchel's got all the players in a great position to know exactly what to do. I feel like the main thing he did when he came in was be defensively solid and work on counter pressing. The first Wolves game, I saw that we were win the ball back straight away against Tottenham, Sheffield, all these other games. And to answer your point, Ryan, it was a great question you asked there. When Callum's up there, and Azpi's kind of making them overlap and runs like the Burnley game, George and Kova know the position so well under Tuchel. It fits them perfectly to be in this pivot. They're always so tight and so close to each other to win the ball back. That's kind of how we prevent the counter. We could see a few instances where a few times it could get past them, but then we have Rudiger, the hustler, to get in there. We have, Zouma, Christensen, Silva to stop the counter-attacks. But, yeah, that's what I felt. They know the position so well. That's the main reason why I haven't short that predicament too many times.
No, 100% agreed, man. Absolutely agree. Once again, very, very good question from Ryan. Let's talk about... I'll take the next couple of players. Rudiger and Azpilicueta. I want to keep Zouma by himself. Rudiger and Azpilicueta, guys, once again, I tweeted midway through the game. I'm not sure if you guys seen it. I've never seen Azpilicueta provide anything less than 7 out of 10 performance. He's always providing at least minimum 7 out of 10. Captain, leader, legend. He will be a legend down the track. This guy, as soon as Tuchel came in, he said it, I need my captain back into the team. And we can see exactly why he needs it, because he's so reliable. Every time he is reliable. And once again, I cannot give him anything less than a 7. In fact, probably a 7.5, if anything. And Rudiger, left centre-back position, as Tyrone has said, he owns it. He owns that position. And I don't think we should entertain Zouma or anyone else playing that position, because it is completely Rudiger's position. And, he knows exactly what he's doing. I don't think he had any sort of mistake. Probably that one mistake in that first half where he lunged out and Crystal Palace found a way through. Luckily enough, we defended that. But, these sort of things can happen. The one odd mistake here and there. Luckily, we got away with it. Against West Brom, we were just making too many mistakes. And obviously, we just kept on getting hurt. Let's talk a little bit about Zouma, Tyrone. With Christensen being out now, I don't know how long he's going to be out. They did say it's minor with Thiago Silva with the red card as well. I mean, what's your predicament for the Porto game? I mean, Zouma plays pretty well in the middle. You got Silva, who's off the back of the injury. He's probably our number one defender. And then you've got Christensen. I'm not sure with the whole injury situation what happens with Christensen now. Do we throw him back against Porto, even though he played very well against Porto? How are you seeing this situation? Because Zouma has made it a bit confusing at the moment. But then again, Zuma's inconsistent.
I'll tell you what's confusing is that question. I'm literally thinking so many different things in my head, how I can kind of put this into perspective. I'll say, first of all, that I think Christensen will be back for that Porto game. And I do think he will start in that game. But in terms of Zouma and Silva, I'm going to say Zouma was very, very good to a centre-back role in the middle of the pitch. He was very, very good at covering the space. He has a lot of space, this guy, covering the space behind the lines. He was very composed, and the ball switch plays were very good. Obviously, scored the goal as well. But in the Champions League game against Porto, over them two, I probably played Thiago Silva due to his experience. He knows the stage very well. Even though he doesn't have much match sharpness at the minute, I still play him. He knows the role. It's his own. He's played under Tuchel's system. I say he's probably the more experienced out of them two. So I'll say Silva's going to start that game, hopefully, out of them two. But Zouma, no credit taken away from him. He was absolutely superb today. Didn't put a foot wrong. The one chance where Crystal Palace had was the back post when Chilwell got out jumped by Benteke. I wouldn't say that's Zouma's fault. That was more of Chilwell getting out jumped. But yeah, Zouma, over them two, I'd probably play Silva in that game. It is a bit risky knowing, Silva's not had a lot of minutes. He obviously had the red card against West Brom. He came on late on against Porto, played quite well, quite composed. But I don't know what you guys say about this, but I'd probably say Silva over Zouma and Christensen over both of them.
Yeah, look, I will have to say Silva comes in, as well as Zouma has produced this game. And I know he did very well against Atletico Madrid as well, playing in the middle. Obviously, he had a shocker against West Brom playing in the left side, but we'll take that away. And obviously, we know Christensen, how good he can be in the middle and his ball-playing ability along with Silva. I don't know how much of an impact that injury is going to be for Christensen. So for me, maybe Silva. Ryan, what do you think?
Well, I agree with what Tyrone said. Thiago Silva, I think but before I even say anything, let's give credit to Tuchel, because when Thiago Silva made that huge mistake against Southampton, was it Southampton?
West Brom, where he slipped, right?
No, Zouma.
Zouma. Yeah,
Southampton.
Yeah, when he made that huge mistake, everybody came out and said, no way Zouma could play in that position. But I remember Tuchel.
I was one of them.
Yeah, me too. I was one of them also. But then Tuchel came out and said he sees Zouma in that position with only just knowing his players so well and sticking with his gut feeling. I feel that's really, really good, and we're getting the reward for it now. One major difference I see, let's just say, I think Zouma is underappreciated for how well he reads the game in that position, but I would not say he reads the game better than Thiago Silva in that position. However, I would say that one major difference, and we saw it against West Brom last week, is that Thiago Silva is so good at playing from the back and so good at passing that it seems like we lose all our principles of playing out from the back when Thiago Silva comes back. Because when Thiago Silva gets back in the team, because we basically put all the responsibility back on Thiago to play balls through the middle, through the lines. But listen, when teams sit back, I have no problem with Thiago Silva playing balls through the lines. But when teams press us very high, I hate to see us playing balls through the lines when we press so aggressively, because even though it looks so good when that pass reaches to Jorginho and he turns and we're off the break, it looks so good, but there's a high probability that we can lose the ball in that position. And that was what basically was happening against West Brom. However, when Zouma plays now, no way we're going to let Zouma play out from those positions. So what we do is we tend to get either our right centre back into our right back position, or our left centre back into our left back position, and we create a diamond there. Then our RDM would drop, be the edge of the diamond. Then our wing back would drop, be the next edge of the diamond, and then the right winger would drop and be the top of the diamond. We have a nice diamond there, and that is press resistant. And if you lose the ball, you don't lose it in a place that it's doom and gloom. No, you lose in a place that 4 players could counter press to win it back. Or if you're under pressure, hit a long ball. Because now we have 4 players there. We've dragged so many defenders onto the side of the pitch. We can have Timo on the other side making those runs. We have long balls. Plus, we have somebody like Kovacic to be a kind of connector, break, and you can lay it off for him to dribble and lay it off for Timo, wherever. But when Thiago Silva is there now, we forget about all our principles. We forget about the diamond on the side. No, we're just going to allow Thiago to have all that responsibility to play from the middle. And that's one concern I have. But it's not Thiago Silva's fault. I think it's just our team's approach when Thiago Silva plays.
And you know what, Ryan? Maybe this is something that Tuchel can address. And I'm pretty sure he probably would have noticed it as well. And, could be a reason. We'll see what happens, who he selects next up in the middle position against Porto. Because, Yeah, Tuchel right now, honestly, Ryan, he does not miss a thing. He is not missing a thing. He's getting it. Anytime he makes a mistake, he corrects it very, very quickly. Tyrone, let's talk. I'll take Mendy because I don't think there's much to say about Mendy. He was an absolute spectator. I said it in halftime that he's probably logged onto some YouTube channel and doing a watch along and having a look at what Chelsea's up to because he literally had nothing to do in that match. Even in the second half, really didn't have much to do. Yeah, that goal we conceded. Now, a lot of people are saying Chilwell needed to do better, but I'm not going to bash Chilwell for that one mistake. Overall, as a team, we got opened up. Maybe Azpilicueta could have stayed a little bit tighter on that winger. Maybe Callum and Hudson-Odoi could have dropped deeper to help that side a little bit and not allowing that cross to happen. Maybe Rudiger could have been a little bit more tighter, or Zouma could have been a little bit tighter to allow for that comfort for Chilwell. But that was a nice cross, and Benteke made a nice run, and Chilwell just got caught out. So it is what it is. It happened. I wish it didn't happen, but it is what it is. But besides that, Mendy did not have anything to do in that match. It was a complete annihilation. Let's now talk about the table and Thomas Tuchel. Tyrone, we are fourth. We are back into fourth. We are in top four. So whoop-de-doo. We are back into the Premier League top four. But we've got West Ham still to play. But as you said, West Ham's got Leicester to play. Something's going to give over there, whether it's Leicester losing or drawing or West Ham losing. Anything is probably good for us. I'd probably prefer West Ham loss because then, we can forget about them. But even if Leicester loses, we're only a couple of points away from Leicester now. So maybe we can catch them. So, some exciting times happening over there. We've got Brighton next up. So hopefully we get the points there. But once again, in regards to Thomas Tuchel, his substitutions, I felt like it made sense. Kante came in for Jorginho because of more defensive, awareness. Ziyech getting some minutes as well. Can't remember who was the last one, substitution. But yeah, overall, what do you think about Thomas Tuchel's whole in-game management and overall management and our spot in the table moving on to the next few matches?
Yeah, the main point about Tuchel, I'd say, is Ryan put it really well. A lot of the live chat was saying as well. So he doesn't have like a set style play for every single game. He predicts what managers are going to do, and he kind of pragmatically approaches each game differently. And I really like today he put Callum Hudson-Odoi, and I'm even sure Roy Hodgson predicted Reece James to be starting today after his blinder against Porto midweek. Hudson-Odoi came in and provided a shock to Eze on the left-hand side into Van Aanholt. He had nothing on Hudson-Odoi. Yeah. His team's always quite different. He's always changed stuff up. I believe there's the most changes of any Premier League manager in his lineup since he's come in as the new Chelsea manager.
Well, obviously, I'm pretty sure Pep would come close, bro. Pep's changing left, right, and centre every day.
Yeah, I think Pep maybe keeps the back four really similar all the time, right. And the midfield too. Rodri's always starting, but the front three quite. Yeah, but Tuchel's that's a stat I definitely do know. Tuchel has changed his team the most, but yeah, he's changing each game to surprise teams, surprise the fans. Miz, I don't think we've ever predicted a lineup completely right on any of the previews. We've got really close to today's one.
We got close. We got close to this one.
This is the closest one I think we've ever got. We were still 2 away from our perfect predicted lineup. Every single game is different. The pivot sometimes going higher up, dropping deep. It's always changing. The front three are pragmatically like interchanging quite a lot all the time. It's always really different too, because that's what I like. I've always said that I like how he's kind of going in a game-to-game mentality, trying to grind out wins, trying to get top four, trying to get FA Cup glory, trying to go far in different competitions. But now we're starting to see that attacking football, the Tuchel ball that we saw at Dortmund, at PSG, with Dembele, with Aubameyang, with Götze, with Marco Reus, all these Mkhitaryan, all these amazing players. We're starting to see this now. This is what we heard about when we heard about Thomas Tuchel. All his attacking play, his counter-attacking, fast, gegenpressing football. This is what he wanted. And now we're starting to see a balance. That's the main thing I'm liking now. We're starting to see that really strong, tenacious defending, the amazing midfield pivot. And now the front three, how good was that passing in midfield and the front three today? Sorry, with Havertz and Hudson-Odoi. Tuchel's been working on that for ages. And finally today, now we need to see upwards trajectory. We can't be seeing, down, down, down. We need to see upwards. We need to see every game needs to be an improvement in our attacking play. There's going to be some games where it's going to be really hard. The Porto game is going to be difficult with them pressing us quite high. I believe they will on Tuesday.
Just quickly, Tyrone, do you feel that is our best three up front at the moment, or is it more horses for courses?
Yeah, I think that is our best three in terms of form, ability. Havertz, amazing player on this day. His reading of the game is intelligent. Even his pressing today, which I haven't really seen from Havertz, his gegenpressing was amazing today. Pulisic, all-action midfielder. And Mount, great. Ziyech, obviously, not starting at the minute that much, Hudson-Odoi, but I care about wins, Miz. I'm a Chelsea fan. I'm not an individual players fan. I want to see the team win. And I know that's your favourite saying, but I want to see Chelsea win games. And right now, Tuchel's getting the best out of these players. And luckily, we're starting to see the attacking football. Let's just see upward trajectory. And yeah, I'm really happy with Tuchel at the minute. He's really honest in his press conferences, everything like that. And yeah, let's talk about Tuchel more in the future. But yeah, what a guy.
100%. Let's bring on Forever Football DRFC, my man. Thank you for joining. What are your reactions for this match before we sort of continue on with the review?
Look, I was watching this game as a neutral because I'm a Doncaster fan who hasn't won in 5 or 6 games, 8 games now, and we've lost 4 in a row now. And we lost 4-1, so we're on the receiving end of a 4-1. So I know how it feels like. I'm guessing that's what Crystal Palace will feel like today. But no, I think Tuchel ball's been excellent to watch as a neutral. I kept one eye on that game, and seeing the way that Chelsea play is just so authentic. I mean, some people may disagree with this, but I think that Zouma is the best centre-back aerially at Chelsea. I think he's the best aerial centre-back.
For sure, agree.
Should he be in the starting lineup in the next game and for at least till the end of the season? I agree. If you need to rest him or anything like that, then you can do. But, Zouma, for me, is a guaranteed starter. I think the front three now, in my opinion, is the best 3 for Chelsea. And I'm going to make a bold prediction right now. I think
here we go.
If City next season slack off a little bit, I see Chelsea win the league next year.
All right. Yes, get in
there.
And
the reason why I say that is because the Tuchel ball, it's just going to get even better with Roman Abramovich giving Tuchel the money to spend on players that are just as good for that system as the current squad. So I expect to see the likes of Tammy Abraham and Olivier Giroud get sold. I expect to see a couple more players coming in different positions, whether that's a new left wing back or a left back to replace Marcus Alonso if possible.
Just quickly, I want to ask you a question. Sorry to interrupt, man. I want to ask you this question from a I suppose fan of football outside looking into the Chelsea matters. Do you get like a bit sort of baffled when the fan base sometimes screams for Tammy to get more minutes when clearly Tuchel knows what he's doing? We're winning, and it's not just about individuals anymore. It's about ensuring that we hit our targets. Do you sometimes get baffled that why are they complaining about Tammy's minutes? Like, what's your thoughts about that?
I'm 50-50 with that, to be honest. I'm 50-50 because, in a way, I can see why people are saying where's Tammy Abraham because, I think even though Tuchel's a great appointment for Chelsea, I think the Lampard sacking was quite unexpected at the time of the sacking. So, and he was bringing in a lot of youth players like your Mason Mount, your Tammy Abrahams, etc. But I do get it in a way because why change something that isn't broken? Why try and possibly break a winning formula? That's the other side of looking at it. And to be perfectly honest, Tammy Abraham will get first team football elsewhere, in my opinion. Whether that's on loan somewhere in the Championship or a lower Premier League club or just on a permanent basis, he'll get first team football. There's no doubt he'll be a breakout striker for the English nationality, but it's just a case of finding it elsewhere.
Nah, 100%. Thank you so much, my man, for giving us your thoughts. Honestly, that was really, really brilliant. Thank you, and hopefully you can stick around for the rest of the review. But yeah, do join us again as well.
Mate, trust me, it's nice talking about a different team after we just lost our 4th game in a row. We are now 11th place, and I think 10, 15 games ago we were in the top 3. So that's how far we've fallen, and now we're the worst form team in League One. So hopefully we turn it around, but I've got no confidence at the minute. But Rovers side day anyway, and good luck for the rest of the season. And hopefully we get to face you in the FA Cup next season.
Thank you so much, my man. Hopefully it all turns around for Doncaster. Thank you heaps for your time. Ladies and gentlemen, let's continue on. Thomas Tuchel, Ryan. For me, I mean, do we now just need to close our eyes, Ryan, and just trust this man to do a job? I mean, what I saw, Ryan, and I need to really talk about this, hopefully the live chat. First of all, shout out to the live chat. I haven't said this throughout this session. Shout out to the live chat to always showing the support we had about close to 110 people. It was about 80 people right now. Thank you heaps for all the support you've been giving me. Keep smashing the like button, helps the channel out a lot. And I will have the description for all my panelists, the social information in the description soon. So do stick around for that. But yeah, Ryan, my man, I mean, is it time? Last 24 to 48 hours, we saw the press conference of Thomas Tuchel, how well he spoke about all the different matters about why he, the thing about Tammy Abraham not getting minutes, why he's persevering with Timo Werner and Kai Havertz and whatnot. For me, it seemed very, very genuine and very articulate and very adequate as well. Ryan, are you in the position where you're now looking at it and thinking, this man knows what he's doing, and let us just let him do what he needs to do?
Yeah, I mean, the last few days, like, everybody had so much polarized opinions and views on the whole Tammy situation. I believe that, like, personally, I would like to see Tammy get more game time, but I would like Tammy to get the chance to do what Tuchel wants him to do. But
exactly.
If Tammy isn't doing what Tuchel wants him to do in training, then he wouldn't get the chance to do it in a match. So it is step one first. Obviously, Tuchel sees that Havertz is doing what he wants him to do in training. So let's give him more game time in that position so he can just get better and learn it better. But another thing I want to say is that I just talked about learning the position of what he wants, what Tuchel wants, but I don't necessarily think Tuchel wants one thing, because today's game we stuck with our front three, fine. But in different games we call for different needs. Sometimes we switch to a front two with a CAM, and we need two strikers on. Sometimes we switch to a front three, flat front three. Sometimes we switch to a 2 and a 1 on top. So I think that Havertz has the ability to blend into any position he wants him to be. Same with Mason Mount. He has the ability to blend into any position he wants him to be. And you asked a question below, is that the best front three? I still don't know, because I think that Timo's striking instinct brings a different dimension to our game. I love his rounds off the ball. I think having him as a second striker, I mean, there's so much runs he make that isn't obvious. Like, we all see the ones against high lines, and it's like, oh my God, Timo is good against high lines. But against low blocks, he is very smart with his movement to make space for inverted runs, to make space for different players. He's very, very smart. And but that's half of his game. That's half of his job. The other half he doesn't do. And it's about which winger can take their half and then implement the other half that's missing. We have Pulisic who has a half. We have Werner who has a half. Who can step up and add to the game? That's a big question. I don't know yet. So yeah, to answer your question, I do trust Tuchel. I do trust his game plan, but we must be mindful that Tuchel is still fairly new to the job. Right, he sees what he knows in training, and he's going to try a game plan to suit with what he sees so far. That being said, there's bound to be games where our game plan fails. There's been a few games where our game plans fail, but I haven't seen a game where we didn't get 2 or 3 clear chances. That's the thing. We may not create 20 chances, but you see those 3 chances we create, it's clear chances. So despite the game plan doesn't work, or if it works, when you get those 3 chances, you have to score. And that's the difference between the points we lost or what we could have possibly gained. Because when we got those chances, we did not take them. And they weren't hard chances. They weren't half chances. They were clear chances. There's been some games that we played horrible, but we still got 2 clear chances that any other striker or forward would score. And I think I trust Tuchel, but I also am mindful of the fact that he is new still, and that he's bound to fall short. But when he falls short, we need our players to step up and be clinical. So yeah.
100% well said, man. So good. I mean, look, I've said it. I tweeted earlier this week that, as you said, Ryan, he will fail here and there. But we as a fan base as well have a responsibility to stay patient. And I think every time the media gets on the back of him, we as a fan base need to step up and control that situation, because these people in the media have a very, very good influencing sense to manipulate the fan base's mind. So we need to be very careful. People like yourself, Ryan, with your threads, Tyrone with his podcast, and all of that stuff, we need to ensure that the fan base doesn't just start reading the stuff that Matt Law wrote off the back of the Porto game about Kai Havertz, and look what Kai Havertz did now. We need to be patient. We cannot just jump the gun after one game. And once again, what Ryan, you said, there will be failures, but as long as it's corrected, and seems like Tuchel is correcting it. And this is the one thing that I did not see in the last regime. Once again, I'm not having to go at Frank Lampard, but the correction wasn't coming up. And Thomas Tuchel, off the back of that West Brom match, he is gone on and he's kept on correcting it. So I thank him so much. Guys, that pretty much wraps us up. Thank you so much, Live Chat, for helping us out, supporting the channel. Please smash that like button. Helps the channel out a lot. Share it with everyone if you've enjoyed it as well. And yeah, hopefully, I may have a stream on tomorrow, so do tune in for that. I'm not really sure, but may have a stream. If I do, probably be around the afternoon to the mark for UK time. And then obviously there's the Porto preview that's coming up, and then the Porto review. So lots of content coming up in this channel. So do look out for that. 100% appreciate the time given from Tyrone and Ryan. What a debut. Thank you so much. Before we go, Tyrone, my man, please do some of your plugins and whatnot. Let everyone know where we can find you.
Yeah, thank you, Miz, for the opportunity to plug my work. But first, I'd like to say, Ryan, what a guest you've been on the show today. 100%. I really like your tactical view of things. I really different input. We're quite emotional guys, me and Miz, but we have a really tactical guy who can kind of give really balanced, fair takes on everything. I really appreciate that. Hopefully, you can be a guest on the Perfect Hat-Trick podcast soon. I think you'll be a great guest. But if you have liked what you heard from me, sure, man. Yeah, I'll get in contact. If you have liked what you heard from me, check out the Perfect Hat-Trick podcast on Apple and Spotify, everything like that. Check out my Twitter, the Perfect Hat-Trick podcast, and CFC Tyrone. We have a new episode coming out on Monday, our Porto preview with a special guest who's been on this channel before. And yeah, just hope I really have to be on the show. Get Mr. 4K subscribers as well. Obviously, look how much White Mr. doing streams every day with these great guests like Ryan and myself. No, I'm just joking, but yeah, I really enjoyed being on. Thanks, Miz. Thanks. Great game, 4-1 win.
Brilliant. My man, Ryan, tell us where we can find you.
Well, first, I really enjoyed doing this stream. Thank you all for having me. And you all say I'm tactical, Y'all bring up some really great points. And I learned a lot because I never really thought about the CMs as one being horizontal, one being vertical. So I learned something new today. I'll think about that more going forward. But to wrap things up, yeah, you can find me on Carefree Tactics on Twitter. Basically, what I do, I don't really post too much opinions, but I do try to post 2 to 3 threads a week, which is just tactical diagrams, explanations of new ideas, or observations of what I see in games. So I'd appreciate it if you all can check it out. And yeah, hopefully I can be here again and we can do this all over again.
100% you're going to be here again, my man. I think the live chat has enjoyed your tactical knowledge. And as Tyrone said, both myself and Tyrone are a lot more emotional, and we talk about vibes. It's good to have someone like yourself, Ryan, to balance things out and provide that tactical information, which is exactly what I do in this channel. This is what I do in this channel. The channel is all about having proper football discussion. So, guys, thank you so much for your time. Until the next time, everyone, take care. See ya.
All right.